what he emailed out, just stuff that he said. Because, even with this engineered virus thing, that wasn't from him. And the responses that we do see on some of the leaked emails that are available, for instance, like the one from Christian Anderson, where he was telling Fauci that it could be engineered, or a small percentage of the genome looks engineered. Even his response to that is like, thank you, we'll talk later, stuff like that. So, I want to know what the email address that this is coming from, because it's a FOIA request. It's probably from his, Dr. Fauci
like the government email,
NIH.gov.
Yeah.
In which case, there wouldn't be much. If he's smart, which the guy is smart, okay, you might not like him, but he is sort of an evil genius. And smart people don't say things on their work email that could be FOIA requested.
Whoa, are you calling Hillary Clinton not smart?
That wasn't on her government email. That was on her personal email server. So, I mean, just to be frank, it would surprise me immensely to learn that Fauci didn't also have his own email server.
Yeah.
So, I think he's actually kind of stoked for this FOIA request email thing to come out, because, he's not going to put anything condemning on his official government email account.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of what we're getting here. There's really not much stuff. And the stuff that is interesting is coming from other people to him.
Right.
And he makes notably short work of replies.
Yeah.
Without addressing any of the information. So I think he played his cards pretty well with this email account.
Yeah. Not surprising, really. The only other article, we're not going to read the whole thing, I'll just highlight, is from the Washington Examiner. Rand Paul takes victory lap on Fauci criticisms, calls for his firing after newly released email dump. And I did see the tweet. Senator Rand Paul tweeted out, "Told you," with googly eyes, the looky eyes.
I
think he was
a shout out to me.
Yeah, shout out to you. Hashtag fire Fauci. And then the next tweet following it, "Can't wait to see the media try to spin the Fauci FOIA emails."
Well, there you go.
I guess that is a little spinning.
They did it. They've spinned it.
But the Washington Examiner does go into the email with Christian Anderson from Scripps, the director of the Scripps Research Institute, and quotes the same thing we highlighted about the potential engineering. But it does add here in a paragraph, Anderson's team eventually published a peer-reviewed paper that concluded it believes, quote, that any type of laboratory-based scenario is plausible, end quote, but noted further research into the issue, quote, could swing the balance of evidence to favor one hypothesis over another, which is to say that, it's plausible. It's not just unknown. It's like plausible, but also we need more data, which is kind of a cop-out in some ways. Well,
they always say we need more
science.
data.
Scientific papers are always like that. They're like, we need more information.
Well,
so,
the worst part about that, the gross part about that is people saying, oh, see, they said they need more data, so therefore it wasn't engineered. It's like, right. Okay, guys.
Well, it could go the other way, too. They said it was plausible, which means it was engineered. I mean, I think just Occam's razor, when you look at the whole situation, is that there's a virology lab in Wuhan. Like,
right.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I push back against that, because yes, if it is plausible that a virus was engineered, it was probably engineered. Like you don't like if you I don't know, let's say I can't even think of a good metaphor, but I mean, you don't find viruses that look like they could have been engineered that aren't engineered. I mean, that's the whole thing. You find a clue. Yeah. And you go off of a clue. Anyways, let's keep
well,
moving.
Plausible, the definition of plausible being reasonable or probable. So they're basically saying, yeah, probably
is reasonable or probable.
Yeah.
Anywho, what time do you have over there exactly?
As of right now, it is noon 07.
Noon 07. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I know your computer time has gone through the time warp, and whatever time you look at is off. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's completely random now. It doesn't even have like a pattern. It's just on its.
The thing that's strange to me is even when you go online to like look at the time, like what is the time in the world right now, you get a different time. So I don't know.
I was going to bring this up. I don't know if we talked about it before, but if you search PST time exact, that's Pacific Standard Time, versus searching Pacific time exact.
Yeah.
And I'll go off of time.is, time.is, which is a genius URL. They distinguish between Pacific time and Pacific Standard Time, which I had never known that there is a distinction between that. And Pacific Standard Time is an hour behind Pacific time. I don't understand what is going on, when this change happened. But there you go. It makes it very difficult to understand. If somebody has any information as to why Pacific Standard and Pacific Time are different, and Pacific Time is correct and Pacific Standard Time is incorrect, please send us an email. It is blowing my mind. Okay, but let's move on here. Let's talk about some vaccine updates.
Oh, let's do it.
Vaccine.
May I? Special. May I?
Yeah.
May I?
May you what? What do you want to do?
I want to get into this article.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So this is coming from WHO.int. It's the World Health Organization International, and got some great news, folks. Tracking SARS-CoV-2 variants. All viruses, including SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, change over time. Most changes have little to no impact on the virus's properties. However, some changes may affect the virus's properties, such as how easily it spreads, the associated disease severity, or the performance of vaccines, therapeutic medicines, diagnostic tools, or other public health and social measures. WHO, in collaboration with partners, expert networks, national authorities, institutions, and researchers and podcasters, have been monitoring and assessing the evolution of SARS-CoV-2 since January 2020. During late 2020, the emergence of variants that posed an increased risk to global public health prompted the characterization of specific variants of interest, VOIs, and variants of concern, VOCs. Ooh, I did not know there was a difference between VOIs and VOCs, guys.
You have a VOI or you have a VOC?
Yeah, watch out for those VOCs. In order to prioritize global monitoring and research, and ultimately to inform the ongoing response to the COVID-19 pandemic, WHO and its international networks of experts are monitoring changes to the virus so that if significant mutations are identified, we can inform countries and the public about any changes needed to react to the variant and prevent its spread. Globally, systems have been established and are being strengthened to detect signals of potential VOIs or VOCs and assess these based on the risk posed to global public health. National authorities may choose to designate other variants of local interest / concern. Current strategies and measures recommended by WHO continue to work against virus variants identified since the start of the pandemic. Then it goes into naming SARS-CoV-2 variants. This is a different article than I originally had. Does this have the update? Let's find out. The established nomenclature systems for naming and tracking SARS-CoV-2 genetic lineages by GISAID, NextStrain, and Pango are currently and will remain in use by scientists and in scientific research. To assist with public discussions of variants, WHO convened a group of scientists from the WHO Virus Evolution Working Group, the WHO COVID-19 Reference Laboratory Network, representatives from GISAID, next strain Pango, and additional experts in virological, microbial nomenclature and communication from several countries and agencies to consider easy to pronounce and non-stigmatizing labels for VOI and VOC. At the present time, this expert group convened by WHO has recommended using labeled using letters of the Greek alphabet, i.e. alpha, beta, gamma, which will be easier and more practical to discuss by non-scientific audiences. The typos on the official World Health Organization website are a little bit too much, I think. SARS-CoV-2 variants of concern and variants of interest updated 31st of May, 2021. Variants of concern. A SARS-CoV-2 variant that meets the definition of VOI, see below, and through a comparative assessment has been demonstrated to be associated with one or more of the following changes at a degree of global public health significance. So this is what VOCs are. They increase the transmissibility or detrimental change in COVID, increase the virulence or change in clinical disease presentation, or decrease in effectiveness of public health and social measures or available diagnostic vaccines. So if you remember, we've got we had the UK variant, we had the South Africa variant, we had the Brazil variant, and now we have the India variant. The UK variant will now be known as Alpha, the Alpha variant. South Africa will be Beta, Brazil will be Gamma, and India will be Delta. Now, there are some other variants of interest. These are sort of the ones that don't really make it worse. But I was not quite aware that there were so many of these sort of non-important variants. Let's see here. A variant of interest says it has been identified to cause community transmission COVID-19 cases or has been detected in multiple countries or is otherwise assessed to be a VOI by WHO in consultation with the blah, 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 blah. So we've got the United States variant, Brazil, multiple countries, Philippines, United States of America, India. That's the B1427, the P2, B1525, P3. Anyways, they go down the thing. Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta, Iota, Kappa. Now, in the article that I had read before, Gons, it went a little bit more into the process of these renamings and kind of the process that the council had gone through. It took them months to come up with this idea. I'm going to try real quick the naming of variants.
While you're looking for that, let me just point out, this is what jumped out at me, is that there's an old story that was written by Aldous Huxley, and it's titled Brave New World. Ever heard of it? Ever heard of Brave New World? And they have a caste system.
Yes.
And their caste system is based on the same Greek alphabets here. You have the alphas, the betas, the gammas, the deltas, the epsilon. And I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I thought it was weird that they would use that particular set of titles to come up with these labels.
It is a loaded set of terms. Yeah. I mean, alpha, beta, these are all things. Of course, you've got like alpha males and beta males, or, A-type personalities, B-type personalities, these things. The Greek alphabet, certainly, while it does have sort of maybe the easiest access and crossover between the scientific community and the public at large, everybody kind of understands the naming convention of the Greek alphabet. Yeah. And, is sort of the best balance between scientific-y sounding and not totally inaccessible to normal people, like we currently use B125847P variant.
I'll just mention that the United States, the one that was documented from the US,